It's our Tuesday pecking order on Mackey and Judd, where we rank random things, sometimes applicable to sports, sometimes not. And we had a couple listeners ask us off of, I don't know, some conversation last week about like journeyman reclamation project Twins pitchers, you know, like the Dylan Bundys of the world, that we should rank the top however many Twins starting pitcher reclamation projects over the years. So I bring to you that exact pecking order today, gentlemen. I'll have you know I have 6 honorable mentions, and then I have a top 10 list. And I might be forgetting some. So I literally am staring at 16 reclamation starting pitching projects for the Twins over the years. And just for clarity here, the rankings are not based on their success. These are just my favorites.
Okay.
So my 10 favorite Twins starting pitching reclamation projects. And I'll wait for the honorable mentions till the end because I don't want to spoil anything here, okay? I want to maintain some suspense through this list. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's fire that music back up, and we'll start at number 10. A man who signed with the Twins at age 34, 7 years removed from his peak. I have calculated how old all of these guys were and how many years they are removed from their peak season in Major League Baseball. Okay, he signed in 2020. Some of these were you know when these guys signed, you say, okay, I can see that. Others were, why are they doing this? This makes no sense. Homer Bailey was definitely in the second category. He had been one of the worst starting pitchers in all of baseball for the previous 5 seasons. There was nothing left in the tank, and he hasn't pitched in the major leagues since the 2 outings he had and got hurt in the pandemic season of 2020. So Homer Bailey, a once highly touted top prospect, number 10 on the Twins starting pitching reclamation list.
Homer Bailey.
That was a really quick one too. He got hurt. I think he won his first start.
Yeah, he did.
He might have tweaked something during that start.
Then he made another start or something.
And then he made one more start. I think he went on the IL, made one more start, and they're like, okay, we're probably good because you basically get hurt every time you pitch.
Yeah. $98 million in career earnings for Homer Bailey. He got paid by the Reds. And then the Twins, the Dodgers bought him out a ton. The Dodgers literally gave him, I think, $22.5 million to not play for them.
I love that.
But yeah, he made $98 million.
Go sit on your couch and watch Netflix while we pay you millions of dollars. That's the Dodgers.
That's great.
They had at one point, I think the Dodgers had this is a few years ago, a $250-some million payroll, and $100 million were guys they were just paying to not come to the ballpark.
Crawford, right?
Crawford was the biggest chunk. He was like $25 million. Yeah.
Kemp.
Matt Kemp, Carl, just please stay away. We're building something here. We'll give you $20 million to just not come to the stadium. So Homer Bailey is number 10. Yep. Now, I tried to represent, because I became a regular viewer of Twins baseball in the early 90s, and so I really grew up watching those mid-90s crappy Twins teams, mid-late 90s. And so I wanted some representation, not just of like the past 10 or 15 years, but this Terry Ryan trend of signing pitchers that were multiple years past their peak did not start with, 2007. It goes back a decade before that. And one of those guys was Mike Morgan, who's number 9 on my list. Judd for sure remembers Mike Morgan. He signed with the Twins in 1998 at the age of 38, 7 years removed from his peak with the Dodgers when he was an All-Star in 1991, and 20 years after his Major League debut in 1978. Mike Morgan was then traded to the Cubs like halfway through the season. And the Cubs made the playoffs that year with Mike Morgan. I don't know, he was like a depth starter or something, but Mike Morgan at age 38, almost a decade removed from his peak, Twins took a flyer on him to fix that crappy pitching staff in 1998.
It's incredible.
Oh my God, that is, yes. I remember his starts. As I recall, he had gained a bunch of weight too. And he was just sort of this blob on the mound at the time, like not super fat, but like his butt was real big. His butt had gotten big. Yeah. Well, I mean, he was getting old.
He's almost 40 years old. It's crazy.
I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying he had gained some poundage.
All right, so Mike Morgan is number 9. Okay, number 8 on my list, a man that I covered as a Twins beat writer. in 2012. He signed at the age of 33, only 3 years removed from his peak, which was, I believe, an all-star season in Colorado. He was exclusively a National League pitcher. Jason Marquis. Come on down.
Oh, God.
You know it's a bad signing when the manager is already complaining to the media in like your third spring training start how long you take between pitches. It's like, we got guys falling asleep out there. Okay, time to pick up the pace. We don't need 45 seconds between every pitch, shaking off every sign, Jason. You're just avoiding the inevitable, which is a line drive to the gap in left center. Get it over with quickly.
Didn't he show up late for spring training too? Because his son got in a bicycle accident, and then his whole season was just thrown off.
He did have a major family issue, yes. But in the years leading up, so he had a pretty decent season with the Rockies, but even in and around that, he had an ERA of 5 in the National League over the previous 5 years leading up to him signing with an American League team in the Twins. Made 7 starts with the Twins, ERA of 8.47. And then they said goodbye. I think he went to the Padres.
He did, and he pitched really well.
Biggest park in the league, yeah. He's pretty damn good. So Jason Marquis, number 8 on this pecking order.
Okay.
All right, number 7. We're going back to the mid-1990s here. I think Judd knows who this one's going to be. He signed with the Twins in 1997 at the age of 36, 5 years removed from his peak in St. Louis, where he was third in Cy Young voting one year. Bob Tewksbury.
Oh, I love Tewksbury, man. He
just a soft tossing.
Oh, but he was crafty as hell. Oh, he was great. I once saw in 92, I think it was 92, it was Greg Maddux near the end of his first run with the Cubs. He faced Tewksbury at Wrigley. I'm not joking, you guys. 158. 1 hour and 58 minutes. Both great at the time. Greg was fantastic. And they're just working quick, getting the ball, throwing the ball. 158 in Chicago.
Just not even stepping off the rubber at all. Just
dude,
ball,
I'm not going to. I was so happy. I'm like, let's go to the bar.
And in fairness, Bob Tewksbury wasn't a total train wreck. I mean, that was like the steroid era of offense, and the Twins had no pitching at the time. They were just they just couldn't find any young starting pitchers to step up. And so he came in and he was, he pitched for 2 years, ate up a bunch of innings, and kind of rode out the back end of his career. But Bob Tewksbury, old wily veteran, number 7.
Was this Bob's last stop?
I don't think so, actually. I'm gonna confirm that for you real quick.
It's okay, you don't have to, but
no, I really want to.
He kept going.
It's funny.
He's 50 years old. Hey, everybody, Bob Tewksbury.
Bob. So he was. Let's see here. No, it was his final stop.
All right.
He bounced around. He was with St. Louis for a year. He's actually with the Cubs in the late '80s as a younger player. He was with St. Louis for 6 years, and then the Rangers in '95, just getting shelled. The Padres in '96. He was okay in '96, but Bobby Tewksbury. Okay. Number 6, Chris Archer. I'm a huge Chris Archer stan, and he's actually been, I think, just fine for the Twins this season. They have not really tested whether he can drive more than 45 miles an hour. They kind of just hook him after 4 innings every start. But he signed at age 33, 5 years removed from his peak, which fits him perfectly into this reclamation project list. Injuries, ineffectiveness, coming over from the National League with the Pirates as his last stop. And so he fits right in this bin, and he's been pretty effective. Mm-hmm. They say he's still working up his lather, basically, right? That's we're sitting here. It's almost 3 months of the season. We're in the middle of summer. Why doesn't he pitch more than 4 innings? Well, he's still building that arm. Which, all right, that's cool. We'll see if we can maybe get him to 6 innings at some point. But he's been okay.
In his defense, he is probably giving you exactly what we should have expected. Yeah. It's just that back in the day, we thought, get Chris Archer, he'll be your ace. And now it's like, okay, Chris Archer is an aging guy who, if he gives you 4 or 5, you're probably happy about it.
Yeah, he's like a kind of a handcuff starter, right? You need someone else to go 3 innings or something, or at least 5 bullpen arms. But yeah, I mean, he has a 3.44 earned run average, which is above average in the majors, but I don't know how sustainable it is. Doesn't feel like he's throwing the same stuff he was 5 years ago. So, okay, we've reached the halfway point of this list. We got Homer Bailey, Mike Morgan, Jason Marquis, Bob Tewksbury, and Chris Archer. So at halftime of this list, let's talk about one of our favorite golf courses in the state of Minnesota, Declan, the Meadows at Mystic.
That's right. A lot of these reclamation products probably have some time for golf. I know Homer Bailey does. He's getting paid
you
by
know
the
Bob
Dodgers and the
Tewksbury.
Twins.
Bob Tewksbury probably plays 36 a day, right?
You know, if just a bump and run for old Tewksbury right there at the Meadows at Mystic Lake. No problem. Up and down, baby. Up and down. Tewksbury or anyone else can book a tee time at golfthemeadows.com at the Meadows at Mystic Lake. Also, you can book a lesson there. They have a full-service golf shop and an apparel shop there. They have a great Meadows bar and grill. If you'd like to book a lesson or book a tee time, it's golfthemeadows.com, the Meadows at Mystic Lake, golfthemeadows.com to learn more.
All right, if you're looking to prevent runs or prevent bad things from happening to your business, Federated is here with over 100 years of experience, frontline protection, and risk management tools and resources for your business. You can find a full list of industries Federated protects at federatedinsurance.com. They've been a huge supporter of us at Score North, Mackey and Judd, and Purple Daily. So, you can support us by supporting your own business, working with Federated Insurance, federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. Okay, the top 5 Twins starting pitcher reclamation projects, my favorites. Number 5, The Gambler, Kenny Rogers.
Oh, God. That's right.
Oh,
He signed in 2003 at the age of 38, 8 years removed from his peak. But pretty good the year, in fairness, he was pretty good the year before. In Texas. So his reclamation kind of started at age 37 the year before, and the Twins were like, oh, the Gambler's back. Let's get him, baby. He made 31 starts for a division-winning Twins team in 2003. Yeah. He was one of the horses of that rotation, and wasn't amazing, but he held his own on a division-winning team, the Gambler.
Yes. Yeah, he was
got to know when to hold him.
Oh, God. Yeah, he was... Sorry, Dex, what?
I was going to say, he almost won a Cy Young like 4 years later in his age 41 season with Detroit.
Did he?
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
He was unbelievable for a Tigers team that went to the World Series out of the complete blue. And he was also a favorite of mine on MVP Baseball 2004. one of my maybe the GOAT of all baseball video game franchise, even better than the show, MVP Baseball. I used to go 7-8 innings, no problem with Kenny Rogers on the mound. No problem.
Dude, Kenny Rogers, okay, so... The Twins had him in 2003. Then he was a 3-time All-Star the next 3 years, twice with Texas. He went back to Texas for a third stint. And then once Declan said, 2006 with the Tigers. I think the Tigers went to the World Series that year.
Wow.
Amazing, man. The Gambler.
The Gambler.
Wheeling and dealing. Okay, number 4. A guy who never actually pitched a game with the Twins. And one of the guys that they were right about, but didn't have the cojones to keep him on the roster. Anibal Sanchez, who signed in 2018 at the age of 34, 5 years removed from his peak. Yep. Really good in spring training. Everyone's kind of like, oh, you're bringing this guy in for? He's been terrible. They saw something, and then they didn't trust their instincts, and he went to the Braves after the Twins got rid of him, and he had one of the best seasons of his career. So they were onto something, but in the end, they didn't pull the trigger.
And they actually made a spring training trade for Odorizzi, correct? And then decided that Sanchez could go because of that. I think that's why they released him.
Yeah. It was a chain of events right after that, yeah.
They were exactly right. Like, that's one of the few ones that they just hit on, and they're like, yeah, we're good. Peace out.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, we're into the top 3 here, boys. We're going back to the 2004 Minnesota Twins, who signed a 41-year-old Terry Mulholland in all of his mulleted glory. So Terry Mulholland was 11 years removed from his peak when the Twins signed him. Now, they signed him, in fairness, to be mostly a reliever at that point, but he did make 15 starts for the 2004 Twins, and so he does qualify for this list. The craftiest of crafty lefties, Terry Mulholland, was fairly effective, just kind of a mop-up guy, eating innings as they needed him to. 41 years old.
Played for San Francisco and Philadelphia before that, right? Among his teams.
I think he played for everybody before that. He played for the Cubs, right?
By the end, but
he beat every team when he got to the Twins too. I forget which team it was, but he was one of the few players that has beaten all 30 Major League Baseball teams.
Okay,
with a win.
That's
I just saw a recent picture of him. He has the full long gray hippie hair and a big beard.
Yeah, he looks great.
Dude, he pitched for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Major League teams. 11 Major League teams.
It's incredible, too, because the Twins got good and continued this pattern. Like when they were bad, I was used to it, right? Okay, they're bringing in another Slappy, but they actually got good and sort of perfected it for a while. We're going to bring in Terry Mulholland. What? You're going to bring in who? Yeah,
Terry Mulholland in 2005. He made 49 relief appearances for the Twins in 2005. He struck out 2.7 batters per 9 innings. just throwing underhand.
Crafty.
So crafty,
baby.
So
Love
crafty.
the craftiness. He was a pitcher, not a thrower, Phil.
Something like that, yes. All right, that brings us to number 2 on this Twins starting pitcher reclamation pecking order. This man signed in 2007 at the age of 30, but looked like he was 50. 4 years removed from his peak, coming off back-to-back seasons with ERAs over 6, and the Twins said, we're coming off a 96-win season. We have an MVP, a future MVP, a batting champion. We have Torrey Hunter, Michael Kadire. We have Johan Santana, and we just need Sidney Ponson to push it all over the edge. And that's who they brought in. Predictably, he was a disaster in 7 starts, and then they released him, and I don't remember if he ever pitched again. I think he did, actually. I think he stuck around for a little while. But Sidney Ponson, who oftentimes had some substances in the hair, too, that were a little questionable. He'd always run his fingers through that curly hair.
Yep.
Hey, guys were cheating, right? Steroids and stuff? Sidney had to take matters into his own hands.
It wasn't working very well for old Sidney, but that was another one, too. It's like the Twins, so 2007, right? They're coming off division championships in 02, 03, 04, 06. It's, guys, this is one of the best rosters you've had in the history of Twins baseball. Well, how are you going to add to it, right? We're bringing Sidney Ponson is how we're going to add to it.
And he bounced to the Rangers in 2008, the Yankees in 2008, and finally finished off as a very fittingly Kansas City Royal in 2009.
Why was he with the Yankees the next year? What did the Yankees need him for?
We'll get some spot starts.
What? Amazing. And that brings us to the number 1 guy on this list. My favorite Twin starting pitcher reclamation project. He signed in 2008 at the age of allegedly 33 years old. Livan Hernandez. So he was coming off a couple really rough seasons in the National League when he signed. He was like a World Series hero 10 years before that, right, with the Marlins.
Yep.
Yes.
He was only 3 years removed from his peak, and he was pretty effective for the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season. And then things took a dip. He posted an ERA of 7 between June and July, and was eventually, I think they traded him. I'm pretty sure they found a trade partner, like the Rockies or somebody, for old Liván. But he is my favorite Twins starting pitcher reclamation project. So Livan Hernandez, Sidney Ponson, Terry Mulholland, Anibal Sanchez, Kenny Rogers, the Gambler, Chris Archer, Bob Tewksbury, Jason Marquis, Mike Morgan, Homer Bailey is the list of 10.
I love this list. I love this list. It's for the most part a great spectacular disaster, but it's so much fun to go back and look at guys who they're like, yeah, you know what? Let's just sign them, see what happens.
Yeah,
let's take a chance.
So I have 6 honorable mentions on here too that didn't make the list. One of them, I don't know if Mike Pelfrey's on here. I don't know if he was a reclamation project because he was still pretty young. Like he was, I think, going into his first free agency or something, and he was a Mets prospect. He was just bad. I don't know that he was a reclamation guy. He just was a bad pitcher that they signed. So Kevin Correa's on here.
Yep. I knew that was on
Ramon Ortiz.
Oh, yeah.
From the mid-2000s, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Won a World Series, yeah.
Dylan Bundy, J.A. Happ, and Matt Shoemaker also honorable mentions on this list. And so that's 16 guys, including the 10.
No Rich Hill?
Oh, I forgot about Rich Hill.
Rich Hill's got to be
I
on
knew I was going to forget about somebody.
The grunter, the swearer. The greatest thing was to have Rich Hill pitching for your team in the year of the pandemic with no fans, where every F-bomb echoed throughout the entire stadium. Declan and I would sit there and be like, "Mother, you stupid!"
Totally forgot about Rich Hill. So that gives us 17 guys on this. Well, let's bump Mike Pelfrey on the honorable mentions, but Rich Hill. Am I forgetting anybody else?
I'm sure you are, but
I'm sure you
I want to remember them.
There's got to be
relievers.
Well, like Joel Zumaya. You know, then he blew out his elbow, but he's a reliever. There's a lot of relievers on this list.
Did the Twins bring in I don't know if he made the roster, but did Joba Chamberlain have a cup of coffee in spring training with the Twins? Did
Not that I
Joba?
remember. Hold on.
Let's see.
why I'm
That
thinking.
sort of rings a bell. Let's see here.
didn't think so.
Joba Chamberlain Twins.
I thought I'd remember that.
No, it
was he a
doesn't.
spring?
It doesn't appear he did. I'm thinking of someone.
There is an article here from 2016, right before the winter meetings. Joba Chamberlain, a target for the Twins. They met with his agent, Casey Close, also Michael Kadyr's agent,
Okay.
to discuss Joba Chamberlain and several other clients. So,
Jabba.
you know what?
Jabba
I'm going to
time.
click on this. Hold on a second. The tease for this is, again, the Twins reportedly met with Casey Close to discuss Joba Chamberlain and several of his other clients. I'm going to click on this link. I'm going to guess this is a Doogie scoop that's being
Yes.
aggregated on ESPN. Let me see.
I bet it is. Oh, I remember now.
Mike Berardino. That's a Mike Berardino scoop. Okay.
The Oakland A's pitcher who did it, Rich Harden.
Rich Harden, yes.
That's
absolutely.
another one.
Does Tommy Malone count?
Yeah.
No,
He was just like a soft tossing guy. But Rich Harden 100% counts.
Good count, yeah.
Rich Harden counts. Rich Harden was nasty
Rich Harden had been
with the Cubs
Yeah.
and the Athletics.
Not with the Twins.
Not
Yeah,
with the Twins.
what year did he sign with the Twins here? Yeah, he absolutely counts. So he signed, here we go. 2012, he signed as a free agent in the winter. God, I covered that team too. So I do remember him in the clubhouse in spring training. It's amazing.
Just happy to be there.
But he never actually made the team, I don't think. He never made a start for the Twins, right? Yeah, 2011 was his last year in the majors. So, what a list.
That is yes. That's
What a
fantastic.
franchise. What a franchise.
And that does not include the slappies that they picked up who weren't like fried. Nolasco, the Vanimal.
Irvin Santana. Yeah, these weren't
Yeah.
reclamation projects. These were
The-
Ricky Nolasco was actually coming off a couple semi-decent
Exactly.
seasons in the National League. Yeah.
But just a complete pain in the ass.
So there it is. All
All
right,
right, well,
what's for the audience out there?
Congratulations on successful.
Yeah, well, how would you rank these guys, Twins fans out there? Let us
They
know
like
in
to
the
forget,
YouTube
Phil.
comments section.
They like to forget that entire list. For the most
All right, that is a wrap on Mackey and Judd. Write that down Wednesday, tomorrow, and an accountability session. And we continue to count down Judd's top 25 Vikings of all time this week on Purple Daily. See you guys tomorrow.